And you know what, I'm just gonna swap that because that seems a little bit better to me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Red Bull Team Liquid map making competition. Of course, this is sort of a Red Bull qualifier almost, as the winner of this, I haven't looked up the cash prize yet, haven't had time between these intense series, but I do know that the #1 place does get basically qualified to go to New York Battlegrounds for Red Bull, something that we just had a lot of qualifiers go off to see who could compete in that, so that's why you see a lot of good players. It's not about the money, it's about going to the Battlegrounds to compete. But spawning here in the upper left corner of the map, a man who needs no introduction. The Korean, the Red, the Protoss, known as Parting. And his opponents, way over yonder. It's gonna be the Blue Terran. I don't know why I'm doing sound effects. Playing for my insanity, it is Jjakji. Now, game 1, we saw an incredible macro game. I think it was really fun. Highly recommend you guys check that out. Game 2 was kind of alright. Parting decided to go for a little bit of a cheeky push. Jjakji was able to not only hold it off, but push back. Game 3 could be anybody's game. I couldn't call this. I would have to literally flip a coin to guess who's going to win this game, to see who advances forward. Taking a look at the brackets real quick, actually. I'm curious who they fight next if they advance. So Jjakji versus Parting goes on to play the winner of Trust versus Czech, I think? Yes. So winner of Czech versus Trust will be... Oh, no, sorry, that's the wrong half of the brackets. Actually, alive! Alive from Evil Geniuses waiting to play the winner of this series. So I will do my darndest to try and follow the winner of this through. But quick overview of the map. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, of course, this is all about the players, but this is also about the maps for the Team Liquid map competition. So quick look at Habitation Station. First off, fun name to say. Feels like I'm, oh, what's that cartoon, you little... Conjunction, junction, what's your function? No, I can't remember. Schoolhouse Rock or something? Anyways, natural base reminds me very much of Derelict Watcher. Not just in aesthetics, but the layout of it. I believe it's even got the same sort of distance between the ramp and the natural. Jjakji may be going for an engineering bay block. We'll see in a moment. We'll come back to this. We'll revisit this. Third base, of course, down here to the south. A little bit exposed. Lots of ramps leading into it, as well as this awkward banana hallway. But, of course, you can knock it down with these rocks. This really, again, reminds me of Entombed Valley more than anything else. Coming up here over towards the right, there's a gold base. I think this is so cool, and I think Terran players should and could utilize this best. But, all right, Zealot is going to try and catch the SCV. It's being so finicky. Oh, no! Looks like the Reaper's not going to be able to pick this off either. Force it back out of here.
First blood.
Sadly, an SCV does die, but buys him a little bit of time. Sometimes a little bit of time is all you really need. Jjakji getting his expansion up behind this. But again, while these guys calm down, let's take a look again at the map. So the gold base is kind of cool. It's also in kind of close air proximity, which is kind of scary too. Like, this is not a free gold base. This is a sick gold base for if you want to do some cheese. Like, if you're a Terran player, you're like, I don't know, Platinum Diamond League, play this map if against their friend. Challenge them, be like, hey, I found this really cool map that might be in the map pool. Challenge to the game on this map, lift off your command center, go for the gold initially, cheese your punt with 5 racks or something, send me the replay, maybe I'll cast it, but like... I think it could be fun for some sort of, you know, like the Bronze League hero side of the game, but it also makes this really dynamic impact for the professional side of the game. Gold bases are a huge danger. You can never let your opponent, if you, like Neoplanet S, the worst feeling in the world is when you see that there's double hatcheries in the middle of the map and you've let them mine off of the gold for the last 5 minutes without realizing it. Like, that is when your heart just sinks into your chest, gets a probe kill with the Reaper. So, I mean, gold bases can be very dangerous. That's why we see a lot of them taken out of a lot of maps. You guys will notice it's been almost forever since we've seen gold bases on any map. Yeah, I believe Neoplanet S was the last official ladder map pool to have them. I'm just trying to think. I mean, that makes sense to me. I just can't think of any other off the top of my head. But, yeah, anyways, I don't think the gold base will get taken this game, although Parting vs. Jjakji could go to that sort of late game phase where you're forced to take this very risky, very gold, very delicious looking base. Stim coming up. I love the 3 racks follow up to this, by the way. Like, you could try and rush out Hellions, you could try and go for a medevac drop, you could try and, I guess, cheese out your opponent, but not against Parting, not against a seasoned Protoss veteran. And Jjakji, that's what I love, by the way, guys. We're not seeing a lot of stupid, risky plays. And not because of the fear, well, there's always the fear of getting knocked out of the tournament. This is not double elimination. Once you're gone, you're gone. But it's almost like a sign of respect, knowing that your opponent's good enough to not fall for that, you know? Like, that's why we don't see these crazy proxies coming in. That's why we don't see, like, Medivacs with 4 Hellions trying to cheese out the main too often. Still a viable strategy, by the way, but looks like coming across the middle of the map, a small push going to hit into the natural base. Mothership Core, of course, has enough to overcharge. So this will be a minimal issue, I feel. Alright, Zealot, gets picked off immediately. Again, very careful to come in here. Doesn't know when the overcharge goes off. There you go. Pops it immediately. Decides to back on out. With the duration this lasts, he might have another overcharge available as soon as the that one runs out. It'll be close. Oh man, speaking of delay, Slow Bertado's got my back. Hooking up words, phrases, and clauses. Yeah, I watch that stuff every morning. That and the Magic School Bus. You wake up at 7 o'clock, you gotta go to school for 8, so you squeeze in 2 cartoons in the morning. It was either Recess or School of Rock, or whatever the heck it was called, or Schoolhouse Rock or something, and like the Magic School Bus for me. But Jjakji is gonna be getting turned up. This is kind of like what I love to refer to as the paranoia turret, the I'm being safe turret. This is, of course, to usually catch observers, as they will path over your natural from time to time, but that's usually due to the map layout. This will, of course, help protect against our Templar if those were coming, but that's not going to be the case, and the observer's already in the base. Meanwhile, Jjakji is spreading like crazy down here. I don't know if he's trying to hide his army or just look for a pylon. If he's looking for a pylon, he's not going to find one, and that's okay. Medivac's coming out next here. Storm coming out, though, not Colossus tech out of parting. I gotta say, I love this move. Like, I really love when players open Storm. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm Terran, you know, Scumbag Protoss, etc., etc. But I love when players open Storm. I think it's a lot more viable early on. Your opponent's typically not going to have 50 Medivacs to deal with the Storms like they might in the late game. And if you open Colossus and transition into Templar, it's a little more difficult to catch your opponent off guard, I feel. If you open Templar, as far as there, you're going to keep dedicating to Templar. Swapping to Colossus is less likely, but always a possibility. But gonna come in for a drop into the main. Will get scouted by this observer, so I don't know if Parting's really gonna let this go punished, or unpunished, I should say. Jjakji, in the meanwhile, scouts that there's not a lot here at the front, so Will give him the stim to go in. Backs up after that overcharge pop, but there goes the drop in the main. Has triggered the attention of Parting as he is under attack. Gets the alert. Stalker's gonna try and advance into this, but that means there's nothing here at the entrance. So force fields popped off to make sure nothing charges in. Parting, so smart. Loses a pylon, but Jjakji needs to get out of there. Alright, doesn't lose it much. Alright, so dual prong, not even really harassed, but like paranoia in full swing now. Wants to make sure that he doesn't get off guard. Parting has to play incredibly careful, has to play incredibly safe, and has to make sure that Jjakji doesn't get free damage in. We got a Viking kind of come out, but I feel this is more precautionary than anything else, knowing that there's the potential of that swap. But oh, Jjakji! I predicted this base coming out later. The gold base, like I said, very dangerous to take. So danger. Much income, very gold. But wow, amaze. If he goes for this early, if he gets away with it for long enough, that's great. Mules, for those who don't know, do not get the bonus mining versus gold that they did once upon a time. SCVs, however, still do pick up extra minerals from the gold. I think it's 7 per trip instead of 5 or something. So a lot of extra income, but looks like the drop of the main is pulled off. And this is not just one drop, this is 3 Medivacs full. And looks like, oh man, that Robo is going to go down. The Mothership Core goes down. It did get the overcharge off, but is it going to be enough? He's going to pick up and boost on out. So, oh man, even shuts down the third base of Party. Jjakji in full control of this game. Meanwhile, looks like a Warp Prism has unloaded a lot of Zealots on the other side of the field. So both players getting their harass off, but neither player really hurting too much economically from this. Mothership Core going down was a bigger deal, I feel. Behind this, even if lots of SCVs in the main were picked off. Nice Storm. I didn't even know there was a Storm in there. Nice Storm goes off. Did he kill too many more? No, he did not, sadly. But I was going to say, even if he loses a lot in the main, he makes up for this with the gold. I mean, the scary thing for Parting is he knows that the gold base is taken. That observer's sitting right on top of it. He knows this is a lot of income coming out of, or coming for Jjakji. Templar gets unloaded, but it doesn't have enough to storm. SCVs are going to make a citizen's arrest. It's got 2 armor, though, and the SCV's only hit for 5. So this is not going to die anytime soon. Help! Help! Help me! Okay. High Templar goes down. Jjakji on the other side of the field, however, is looking to poison hit for a strike. Will get caught a little bit off guard here. Force fields will ensure the death of these Marines and Marauders. However, knowing that the army is so out of position, once again, a doom drop of 4 medevacs coming in. Big storms, big feedbacks, loses 3 of those medevacs immediately, and most of the army does not actually get out. 75% of that army basically killed, dead on arrival. DOA. Coming in here on the south, though, Force field going to try and catch a couple more units. Jjakji, however, looks to... he's going to pick off a couple of these Templar. Storms go off, but nicely saves them both by making them into an Archon. Well, I guess it doesn't really save them. It kills them and makes them an Archon, but still. Retains supply efficiently. There you go. That's the phrase I'm going to go with. But Jjakji's income, guys. Let's take a look at the income here. Look at that gold base! Between mules at the natural and gold at the third, this is so much income. Almost 3,000 for our Blue Terran player. And while he may have lost a lot, he is going to be able to remake this with very little issue. Sorry, I had to take a quick water break because I am dying over here, but I can't complain. The only reason I'm so drained is because of the action. And once again, we have the action coming in the middle of the map. Archons are going to push this army back. There's just no ghosts available, no EMPs. He's going to kite so many of these zealots, though, but charge, again, allows for guaranteed hits. Most of these zealots are almost dead, but they're not going to go down just yet. If he stops to attack, he'll take those Archon hits, and that's the big danger, the true terror. Zealots with +2 armor, of course, getting kited. And even though they're getting kited, I want to point out, look how sturdy these things are with just 2 armor upgrades, guys, against 1-1. There is a liftoff, and these SCVs will retreat out, but they will go down to the Archons before they can really fully retreat. Unfortunately, they do take bonus damage from the Archons. Not that it matters. Bio in the south still trying to stem around. Force field just barely misses that choke point as units do slip right on by. But Jjakji, who is in such control of this game, suddenly in a lot of trouble. Ghosts are nowhere close to being out in the field. We do have Mobius Reactor finishing up here shortly. Stimming and kiting, doing such a great job of minimizing his losses. He still has to deal with the Archons. A big storm goes off, and Zealots... Is there a Warp Prism? Warp Prism is in the main! It is warping in from behind, so Jjakji is getting hit from the front. Jjakji's getting hit from the back. Third base has been lifted. It's not mining. His income has suffered quite a bit, and despite that giant boost he had, is now actually in a bit of trouble. Loses most of the SCVs on the field. 72 workers to 30 at this point. Partying on 3 bases, lots of Templar. And I gotta tell you guys again, if there wasn't... If he went Colossus first instead of Storm, I really don't feel he would have been able to make this damage happen. So really well freaking played. Third base is going to be reestablished. I believe most of the SUVs will probably be transferred there. But that's what I was talking about, this being a dangerous base. So you consider the fact that Jjakji retreated. His stim, his kiting was immaculate. He lost almost nothing, killed most of the zealots before they even got to the army. But he went towards his base here, leaving this whole area open. And you guys saw the storms. I don't need to tell you. You just saw this with your own eyes. That's why this base is such a danger. Well, things have kind of calmed down for the moment. Ghosts are going to be available. They do have Mobius Reactor, but they're so expensive to make. Drop goes off at the main while this is going on. Sorry, I just barely missed that, but it looks like Dark Templar did clean them up very quickly. Partying, however, going to be hitting for 2 angles once again. Ghosts with their bonus damage, so nice against Zealots, and of course have a very robust health pool of 100, but he's going to need some really good EMPs. If he misses these EMPs, it could be the game for him. Gets the Zealots, can he get the Archons? Looks like, you know, for the time being, but this base, again, Zealots are going to be a problem. Trying to heal the SUVs. You can actually probably save the SUVs by putting them in the medevac and evacuating them away, but looks like Ghosts are going to be taken out. No EMPs available. Forget the storms of these Templar. He's going to get through those Archons, but you can't forget the storms as they go off. Big storms go off, and what little is left of Jjakji. Good game is called, and Parting will advance forward to fight alive. Alright, well, I am going to do my best to make sure I cast that series, ladies and gentlemen, but what we will do in the meantime is run some commercials. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in so far, and we still got some more games to come.